the virtual desktop assignment for IT Essentials. The first thing to do is install the power supply. It's pretty straightforward. Followed by the RAM. A little difficult to click on the clips. The CPU is next. And I want to get pin 1 oriented. Need to close the CPU cover and the ZIF lever before applying the thermal compound. Next, the heatsink and fan assembly are installed. Once again, this is pretty straightforward. Should read the screen and install the motherboard before attempting to install the motherboard screws. Orienting the motherboard was a little tricky, but it went in. The NIC, wireless NIC, and video adapter also installed. Pretty straightforward. The hard disk drive is next, followed by the hard disk drive screws, optical drive, and floppy drive. Getting the proper orientation for the floppy drive was a little difficult, but it went in. Installing the internal cables gave me the most problems. I'm going with the 4-pin power first. Decided against that and went with this 3-pin power. Looks like for the fan, for the case fan. And here's the ATX 12-pin power, and then 4-pin power after that. No? Yes. So I went for the power cables before I went for the data cables. And I was trying to get this 4-pin Molex connector up to the DVD. Got that. That's the floppy 4-pin power. And it's inserted. followed by the SATA for the hard drive. And this was a little tricky because I guess I forgot that this hard drive needs two SATA power connections. So I put this second one in. The first one's invisible. That kind of throws me off a little, but it's okay. Got to figure it out. I had, once again, some mental issues here. I haven't installed the SATA or the PATA cable or the floppy cable yet, and I'm trying to install the case panel. So I'll get through these mental issues in a few minutes here. And then trying to drag the floppy cable to the right location on this diagram was a challenge, as was dragging the PATA cable on. So I finally tried dragging it up to the drive. That didn't work. Then I drag it down to the connector, and let's see if I can see the connector. I have limited vision, and I finally got it there, and I think it's oriented correctly, and now it's in. Now getting the top of that to reach seems like it'd be a challenge, but oops, I disconnected the power. Let's get that Molex connector back on. And I finally got the data cable, or the PATA data cable, to the drive. And let's see if we can get it oriented correctly. That pin 1 was to the left. Oops, to the right. Okay, same thing. Pin 1 is to the left on this floppy. Maybe. And that's a little tricky because you have to get it at an odd angle. And we're going to click on the floppy. I see it there, but it's not letting me click it. There it goes. Okay, pin 1 left. Yep. Okay. Alright, now we can put the case panels on, the side panels, and put the screws in and drag the video cable in. Nice animation. Keyboard. You have to drag it all the way up to the purple, and then orient it. And I like to have the square black connector at 3 o'clock. Same thing with the mouse. And the USB for who knows what device that's for. Maybe it's for a printer. Maybe it's for headphones. Million devices it could be used for. And we have Ethernet, so we have some internet connectivity, or some network connectivity. And the wireless antenna, once again, you have to remember to drag it down to the port, and then the activity will let you proceed. And you can finally finish with the power adapter. One thing I'd like to see is game mode, where you actually get points and you can actually try to beat the clock. Now, this is my submission for the virtual desktop.